This is recording 735. You can find me at ChristinaStacia918.com. Okay, so I want to go over, let me finish where I was before, and then let me go over crimes that Gene has committed in the past week. So this is more that goes to the previous recording. So also in that is, in those ciphers that I decoded in the last recording, is the Eiffel Tower. And you already know she did the Paris attacks. And you already know that there's a Marine base. And I think there's a Paris Marine base. So again, Gene Roberts committed those crimes. Also, when I was 2 months old, which would have been, I was born November 13th, 1971. That would have been January 1st, 1972. So if you look at, that's 119. Okay. And then also the 972 CL code. And then also, you know, that is my first husband's birth date, year. And it also shows how many husbands I've had because it's 111972. Then also somebody also pointed out a sharpened pencil, the top of it, the wood and the lead, that shape is a cone, like an ice cream cone. Okay, so, and also the top of it, and we decoded the pencil itself, but also at the top of it on the eye thing, it would be the pupil. So anyway, it goes, okay, so let me go. All right, so on January 8, 2026, 56-year-old woman named Arlene Lillis died following a shark attack on Dorsch Beach at St. Croix in U.S. Virgin Islands. Okay, so as soon as I decoded this, I wasn't going to mention it, but I've already turned Gene in already for committing shark attacks. People in my brain started flooding the media on my phone, and they were like celebrating, and they were stimulated. If you know what I mean by the word stimulated. They showed some guy in the car, like driving by in an ad, and then they put him on the RT Today website ad. They were stimulated, all just getting down with Gene Roberts, her type of people. So anyway, they were basically saying in my brain that this is fake and ha ha ha. So, like I said before, if the story is fake, that means she put out a fake news story. That's a crime because that's inciting terrorism. It's inciting terror. It is not funny. It is not amusing. And you're receiving stimulation from it. You think it's funny, which means you are a predator in her predator occult. So, I mean, if it's fake news story, it's not my concern. You're still committing a crime. And if it's real, you committed the crime and you're laughing at the victim. So anyway, Arlene Brown, Charles Manson, then she's using Sharknado Ian Ziering. She's pissed off at this one because I was falling asleep and actually met Luke Perry. He had a chair in my room. He actually came and he sat in my chair and he was talking to me. And I knew he was going to make like an appearance in my brain because of my roommates watching 8 Seconds. So I knew he was going to make an appearance. Gene uses the Beverly Hills 90210 cast. They come on. See my podcast on Jason Priestley. Jason Priestley came on and told me, this is what you got to listen to my podcast. Luke Perry came on and he was sitting in my chair and then he was talking and then I gave him my website. But anyway, Gene Roberts' people were on and they were having a fucking fit because I was talking to a celebrity. Because Jean Jernigan Roberts, she's the all-being Caucasian. She rapes and sells the children. They worship her for that. She commits terrorism. They worship her for that. And she provides a way and she provides bounty for all the people in her occults. And she owns everyone. And if you're not doing what Jean says, this is literally how these people are. If you're not doing what Jean says, then you'll hear from her and her goons. So basically, that's what's going on here. So I don't know if this crime is real or not, but anyway, if it is, I'm sorry for the loss because she committed a shark attack. If it isn't real, it's an example of the trash that is Jean Jernigan Roberts. So also somebody brought up to me, bring up Kelly Ripa and Michael Strahan. So when I decoded the World Trade Center attack, I decoded Michael Strahan and Kelly Ripa's name in the ciphers where she's planning to do the World Trade Center attack. I also decoded Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints. And what she was doing was she was trading celebrities and trading stars back and forth. So that is for them. And what she did to them between them is with their names is foul and gross, but you can easily figure out what she did there. But that's what she was doing, and it was all a part of her planning to do the World Trade Center attack. So another crime is one person is dead and 2 others are injured after shots rang out at a gas station in Miramar Tuesday evening. According to Miramar police, authorities responded to the chaos in the area of Southwest 75th Avenue. So she's using the MT and PT theme again, which is magnetic and particle testing. She's also using 75th. She's using the 3/4 theme. Pakistan blast damages railway track at NASIRA bad. Balaghistan. So you can see that it's looking like the no sir, yes sir. Okay. She's also using house music. She's using Nocera, which is a group that I loved when I was younger. She warped her music so that it was my favorite house song. So when I look back, I see that she was bragging about doing the World Trade Center attack in it using one of my favorite house songs. So she's doing that. She's using Nocera here and then Nasura and Nocera. So she's doing the yes sir, no sir. So she's trying to layer over by blaming music. And she's iced some of this in music too. She's trying to layer over to hide what she's done. And she's trying to jokify it. And she committed this crime in Pakistan. She even called them what she was just trying to say through my mouth. So Pakistan knows who Jean Jernigan Roberts is. And that's the answer there. So not at Christina. There's some that says the next article says United States. So they just made shotgun blasts happen in the United States. You really have got to arrest Jean Roberts. United States, 2 dead, 6 wounded in shooting outside LDS Church in Salt Lake City. The shooting occurred at the Rose Park 5th Ward Meeting House of the Church of Leader Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints at 660 North Redwood Road, where Riverside sang it. So you could see the 5th Ward, this one, you can see her using the RP, the RAP. You can see it's an LDS church. You can see the 660. You can see the red ones, red wood, and then you can see her using Roadrunner. And then you could see her using Riverside, which is a street here in Tulsa. So she committed this crime in Salt Lake City. And then stop. They think this is a joke. So it might be a joke to some people. If these are real terror crimes and she put fake stories on, then that shows the epitome of the trash of the United States of America. If the terror crimes are real, again, it shows the epitome of the trash of the United States of America, because Jean Jernigan Roberts and her Manson occult committed these crimes. Finland, fire at Orivesi school construction site triggers explosions, 1 injured. So again, they're using the Oberweis Oberlin theme again. Germany, 3 killed in house explosion in southern Germany. So this one is in the district of Tailfingen. So they're using a 50 goes west, and then they're saying tail, and then they're saying finger. And then according to police, city authorities, family that was in the house at that time died in the explosion. And then after I got done with this, Jean Roberts people go, we did not mean this. We are Playboy bunnies. That's what they said in my brain. And then Jean Roberts started calling herself Jean Oral Roberts. The Oral Roberts University is here in Tulsa. Jean, for the past month, has been calling herself Jean Oral Roberts. And then she goes, no, I'm trying to say that that's Christina. No, Jean, you're calling yourself Jean Oral Roberts. With the end, you can tell that Jean Roberts is Satanist doing that. But Jean Roberts is the leader of Charles Manson, so you should already know that Jean Jernigan Roberts is a Satanist. Mound of garbage collapses at Philippine landfill, burying and trapping 38 people and killing 1. Audio equipment company president stabbed to death in Tokyo apartment. Police investigate the murder case. And this was in Tokyo. And then OTAW, Oda Ward. And then 10-4, 1040. And the man was Akihiro Kawashima, 44, president of an audio equipment company. Aircraft collision at Haneda Airport. What should be done to prevent a chain of human errors? And this is kind of the way that Jean, this is the actual news article, but either she's icing the news article, or this is, but taking this actual news article and then comparing it to how Jean talks. And Jean is a criminal. She tells a lie, and then she runs with the lie, and then she starts doing all these, like, MKUltra question stuff. So it's like you can tell it's got Jean in it. So you can tell that Jean committed this crime also. So anyway, it was Japan Transport Safety Board between Japan Airlines aircraft and Japan Coast Guard aircraft at Haneda Airport in January 2024. So you can tell easy by the Haneda. So you can tell that Jean Roberts and her Charles Manson occult committed these crimes. And then next is officer involved shooting reported inside New York City Hospital following a knife incident occurred at New York Presbyterian Brooklyn Methodist Hospital after security. So you can tell with the knives, Jean is obsessed with knives. And then she used Best. And she's also using Bite. So, and it's a church, you can tell. And then Brooklyn Methodist, you can tell that. And then beats per minute, you can tell that Jean Roberts committed this crime. Jean Jernigan Roberts. Okay. And then There's more I want to talk about, but I'm going to make another recording on it. So that is it for this recording.